Hello Gemini, and welcome to Mind, Body and Heart Tarot. I hope you are well. This is your reading for May 2019. I'm gonna start shuffling your cards. I pre-shuffled them before a little bit, but now let's see what are the messages popping up for you for the month of May. So this is a reading for Gemini, Sun, Moon and Rising signs. It is general reading, so if it resonates, it resonates. It doesn't. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. Though if you do find your way to this channel, probably there are some messages here for you. Sorry for my voice. I think I'm catching a cold here. Alright, there we go. We have the Page of Pentacles. The light is very interesting. Is the morning light here? So. Okay. Also check out your moon sign and your rising sign readings, because the sun is just an aspect of ourselves. The charts are very complicated. There's a lot going on in there, but it's about like the moon and rising are quite important aspects of ourselves as well. And many times we can relate so well with that as well. And it's very interesting because yeah, when checking out the different readings, we can see how we can resonate differently with different aspects. So that also sort of points out the dualities within us, and sort of the different personas, the different archetypes that we embody. Knight of Swords. Hello there, Gemini. This is Aquarius energy, but it could easily be you. It's an air energy, air signs. Alright, what else do we have here for my dear Gemini? For Six of Pentacles, and here we are, Three of Cups. Beautiful. And bottom of the deck we have the Eight of Swords. Not surprising for my dear Gemini, who spends a lot of time in his mind. Her mind. Alright, for some reason I have less space on this table. Maybe it's just the lights here. As we have this ray of light. Well, never mind, we'll figure it out. Now let's pull out some clarifiers for these cards, and let's talk through this. So your underlying energy, your theme is Eight of Swords. So this reading will pretty much be about how to deal with this Eight of Swords energy, which is not a very comfortable one. Well, actually, that's arguable. Because Eight of Swords is about like kind of getting trapped into our own minds. We've done so much of the thinking about a situation, about life, the universe, and everything else, that we start getting confused by our own thoughts, and we end up limiting ourselves. We end up imprisoning ourselves into our own minds. Oh, very interesting. Okay. Oh, hello. Oh, yeah. Also, the Eight of Swords talks a lot about like victim mentality, about victimhood. And okay, this is a very sensitive subject, and I'd like to go into it a little bit deeper, if I may, because many of us have been victims of horrible experiences and people and circumstances, and of course we internalize that, and that's something that we have to learn to live with and to work through. And of course that leaves deep scars on our psyche, which will try really hard to contain the situation. It's the way that trauma works, right? It's the mind is trying so hard to contain the situation, therefore many times we forget a lot of stuff, and then suddenly it pops up in weird moments. I don't want to go too specific into how trauma works and how it manifests, because it manifests differently for different people, but the principles are the same. The point with this card, though, is that this card can appear when we embrace the identity of a victim. And suddenly, pretty much everything that shows up in my life, I relate to it as I'm the victim of it, as if the life, it happens to me. And it comes the King of Pentacles. Very interesting. The point is that this card is an illusion. We are not the victim of everything that happens around us. We may have been victims of different kinds of abuse. But if we embrace that identity, then this is the only way we look at ourselves and we relate with life. And that's not how things look like, really. They can look like that for ourselves because we've been trapped in this illusion. We have a choice to look at what happened to us that put us into this place as something that's just this. It happened to me. Does not make me who I am, does not define who I am. I hope that makes sense to you, and I hope that wasn't too much. Anyway, it comes with the King of Pentacles, and well, that's an interesting combination, because the King of Pentacles is a very, very strong person, a father figure, a very empowered character. He's a builder, he's a creator, and he's a provider. And well, this can be read in so many different ways, and right now I have like a few different stories in the mind, but I will have to just focus on the main one that will resonate with not with everybody, but with a group view, right? The ones that share this particular experience. So the King of Pentacles with the Eight of Swords here, I think it has to do with either what you see as your abuser, this masculine character. It can be a woman, but it has this masculine energy that tends to be maybe too material oriented and very, very practical. But that's I think that story gets really complicated, and I don't see the cards here to go too much in that direction. So I'm gonna go in the other way, which is that this King of Pentacles is the symbol for abundance, and maybe this Eight of Swords has to do with feeling like being sort of like trapped into this feeling that you can't attain this sort of abundance. Okay, I want to clarify this duality of this dynamics of energy is very a little bit confusing. Yeah, I just want to see where does this story go. So if we do go through this, probably it will take us back here, as it usually does. Still, I'd like to pull a clarifier to, yeah, sort of clarify this theme here. Place a clarifier for the King of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords. It may be also that you get like trapped into this aspect of yourself, which can be quite focused on the material goods, on your fortune, maybe if you do have such a thing, or like on making money, on providing for the family. And if we get trapped in this character, like this character is good, it's a very useful one, it's the builder, it's the provider. But if we embody only that, then we may be missing out on life quite a lot. And King of Cups, my, there's so many people here. The King of Pentacles and the King of Cups are pretty different dudes. Then now that I look at them, their face features are quite similar. But the King of Cups is much more about being a good father emotionally, providing the emotional support and the emotional maturity, being a role model about how to express one's emotions. He's an artist, he's a dramaturg, he's making use of his emotions. Emotions are a resource to him for expression and for creativity. And he expresses his love through communicating these emotions. The King of Pentacles is someone who's like expressing his love mainly through providing and showing that the security, like financial security or material, some sort of material security. And having them, both of them together with the Eight of Pentacles, it's I'm looking also at the water that's here with the Eight of Swords and the water here of the King of Cups. And here I see this red earth. Let me show you. Okay, yeah, well, the light here is a little bit challenging. I just want to show you. Oh, right, there you go. So you have the water here on the ground, and then you have this red earth, and behind here you have this like big castle, and she's sort of like trapped in the wastelands here by these swords that don't really imprison her, and her binds are loose, and she's just blindfolded, she's confused. And she didn't struggle, I suppose, to realize that these loose ropes can be easily like let go of, and she can always use one of these swords. Actually, see one sword sets apart from the other to cut herself free, but she doesn't see it, right? She simply does not see it. Maybe she doesn't see what she's surrounded about anyway. She's just feeling like completely trapped and insecure here. And in a way, having this like King of Cups and King of Pentacles, and seeing this earth here with and the combination of the two, right? Like this very like physical ground, and then there's the water, like the emotional and the physical realm. And having this castle here, it's like maybe feeling like you can't attain any of this, like they're being kept away from you by life, by the universe, by things like this. And yeah, as I said, this is an illusion, and we may keep ourselves blind to these aspects of ourselves or these influences in our lives without realizing it. Anyway, let's get into the story. We've been talking for 15 minutes for about just the underlying energy. And to be honest, I wanted to keep these readings shorter. Okay, so we have the Page of Pentacles with the Six of Cups. And the Page of Pentacles has to do with a connection with the body and with a transformation that comes at a physical realm. Also messages from the earth, or messages from your body wisdom, from your awareness. It also means like growth, right? The pages are children that are in growth, and the pentacle page is really connected with the earth. It reminds me of kids that just like play in the fields, and are really they are part of nature much more than we are when we are adults somehow, because they naturally fit in there and they take it for granted. That's the normal environment. If you go to somewhere, the countryside, or somewhere where there's like more nature on, and you see kids that grow up there or that are playing there, they're like as much a natural part of that environment as the birds are, or the snakes, or whatever it's in there. And it comes with the Six of Cups, where I think it has to do with kindness and with the past as well. But yeah, actually it does take me to the past with this whole Page of Pentacles being a child that's really in growth. The Six of Cups has to do a lot with like reflections on your past, reflections on your childhood, and on your home environment. And maybe you feel like some sort of melancholic feeling having to do with the past, having to do with people in your past that were showing kindness to you, that were nice to you. It can be siblings, it can be family members of any kind. It can be maybe from childhood friends, or even your first love. And and you lost something there, and you feel like maybe with this Page of Pentacles, with these messages that come from your body and from your connection with the earth, you start seeing again a value into that sort of connections that maybe you've kind of moved away from, or where you lost for one reason or another. They're in the past, they're not in the present. And that takes you to this like big rationalizing yourself through it, and rationalizing the concept of happiness and family and relationships. The King of Swords is a very like he's all about the truth. He's all about communicating the truth. He's all about speaking out his truth, and he's got lots of mental clarity. He is very straightforward. By the way, you have 3 kings in this reading. Kings are mastery, and kings are ruled by the drive of necessity. So he needs to be this truthful and this clear in his thinking. It is something that is needed in his kingdom. He's a provider as well. So he provides this truth when it's needed. And maybe in your relationships, in our current relationships, it is important for you to communicate clearly and to keep that mental clarity, and to set the right boundaries, I suppose. But coming with like this growth period and transformation period and this awareness of the past and this melancholic feeling, it's maybe you start incorporating some memories and you're sort of, as I said, rethinking your understanding of family and communicating this. And you have this Six of Pentacles and Seven of Swords here. And the Six of Pentacles has a lot to do about with what's that called? Yeah, with how we spend our time, how we spend our energy, how we spend our resources, giving and taking. It's a lot about giving here, as you see in this card, but let's not talk only imagery. The symbol of the card itself is about balancing out how much I give and how much I take in my relationships. And you see all this kindness from the past that's like being brought up and as a melancholic memory. Maybe you received a lot and you value that at some point, and now you're not receiving it any longer, and that puts you a little bit in this space of like, what's happening? Why am I not receiving the support and the emotional support that I need? And usually this happens because we kind of need to learn how to give this to ourselves, you know. When we're children, we really need this support and this love and this nurturing environment because yeah, we need it. we're kids, we can't take care of ourselves. But as we grow up, part of the growth process is learning how to provide everything for ourselves, you know. When we become mature, if we ever mature, when we become adults, we are providing for our needs, like physical needs, but can we provide also for our emotional needs? Can we provide also for our spiritual needs, our expectations of love? And yeah, maybe I feel like you haven't been receiving this the way you wanted it because you needed this sort of awakening of understanding the balance of give and take. Sometimes you can get like into giving too much, and when we give too much, then at some point we just got depleted, and then we expect to receive so we can fill up. But the people that are on the other side of our giving, they just get used with taking, with being offered, and when we stop giving, then they freak out and they end up having like definitely not the reaction of just giving back, but more of like getting frustrated. Wait, I had all this from you and now I don't have it anymore, you don't love me anymore, or something like this. So yeah, and it comes with the Seven of Swords, which is an energy that has to do with like our minds like rationalizing its way through stuff that is trying to like sort of cover up things that are present in our mind. We kind of start glimpsing them, but our mind tends to like hide it from us and suppress it because it's not comfortable, because it's a truth that we're not we don't really want to look at because it's not nice. It's something that we don't really like about ourselves. So our mind is like trying to do us a service and hide it from us. Something from the past. It can have to do also with I think it's very much related with this Eight of Swords, by the way, 7, 8. But it's also just the mind being like rational and trying to like figure this out, how much to give, how much to take. I'm used to work in a certain pattern, but the Seven of Swords appearing here is that I'm not really seeing it that well, but I think that you start seeing it. You start seeing it when you've been giving too much, where you've been giving too little, and you start seeing that this comes from your childhood environment and pattern and your idea of what relationships and families should look like, based on the model that you're coming from, and based on, I don't know, whatever you formed, whatever reached to you from all this social media, all these your exposure to life and the stories out there, which narrative stuck with you. And then you have this Three of Swords of the Seven of Cups, and the Three of Swords is the Three of Cups with Seven of Cups. And I feel like you're applying this whole this whole revelation that comes through with this King of Swords. It comes a little bit like the truth is being revealed to you, and you're communicating it. You're applying this in your relationships with your friends, with your close one, with your soul family, and you're starting like seeing what can be, you know. You start like visualizing a little bit your dreams about friendships and relationships and so on and so forth. The Seven of Cups is an energy, a very dreamy energy, but it's also an energy where it holds a lot of potential for us to start like kind of understand what is it that we really want. When we have like everything is flashed in front of us, you have so many cups in front of you and don't really know what's what and what's in each and every one of them, and you have all these choices. You can get confused and we can get frozen, and then we end up not choosing anything because what if I make the right or the wrong choice? What if I make the wrong choice? What if I take this one and this one's got this head in it? But actually I wanted the glitter and the gold, and I don't want to settle for this one, I wanted the other one. Or okay, oh shit, what if I get the snake one, I get bitten, I'm gonna die. Or some of us maybe want a snake pet or whatever. I mean, like, but this dreamy energy also has the amazing potential of like, if we just tune into it, if we just like allow ourselves to be in that energy, we can figure out what's the real desire. We can ask the question, okay, what do I really want? It's not about what is offered to me, it's about what I want. What do I want? What do I want in regard to my relationships? What do I want in regard to a home? What do I want in regard to the support that I'm supposed to receive, and how much am I willing to give? How much can I give really in these relationships? You see these ladies in this Three of Swords, they seem to be all on an equal footing here. It's not one more than the other. It's not one carrying the others. It's not one. They're happy and they're celebrating from a place of pure equality. And it's things coming together at emotional level to bring some sort of joy and feeling of celebration. I'd like to clarify this Three of Cups with the Seven of Cups. But yeah, the way I see this reading, it's kind of like really hinting up at your expectations from the relationships around you, the people in your life, your expectation from what happiness should look like, and it's based a lot on your growth as a person and your maturing, and the models that you had from an early age, from your childhood, from your family or caretakers, or things like that. And I think these are great questions to ask, and we should all ask them, and we should all like go through this process of like questioning a little bit our own view of the world, because this Eight of Swords is giving me a picture of how the world looks like, and it may very well be wrong. I may just be trapping myself in a picture that may not be very accurate, and blind myself to the support that's really being offered and that's really there, and I just don't know how to use it. So we all can question that every once in a while, and I salute your process and the fact that you're sort of doing this right now. It can feel a little bit shaky because, yeah, we don't like when our reality somehow gets questioned, or we question it. But and that's why I was saying that it's arguable if it's comfortable or not, because sometimes we rather stay in a reality that doesn't make sense, but we are sure of it. When like, okay, yeah, this reality is not particularly nice, that this lady is like just trapped in there, away from where the support really is, away from her family, away from the city, away from the castle, right? But sometimes it's much more comfortable to stay there rather than question the reality, because we can't cope with the idea that my reality is not. I don't understand my reality. Yeah. Okay, so with this four of Swords, in relation to the Three of Cups and the Seven of Cups, it has to do with retreat mode, taking a break, and allow for this mental structure to be formed again, to take some insight about your situation. It's a reflection mode. Yeah, I think it's slowing down with this Seven of Cups, and take really your time to make your choices based on your heart desires, not based on what your mind is rationalizing here, or where your mind is being trapped in. So this is like put your mind on a little bit break there, and feel through your relationships, feel through at an emotional level, and sort out your emotions, because yeah, sometimes our emotions can carry a lot of baggage that comes from different events in the past that we somewhat connect with, the people that are in our lives now, and we end up projecting on them all that, and that can end up being a little bit unfair for the other people and for ourselves, because we are the ones that we're still carrying a baggage, and we are the ones in this whole confusion. It's very confused energies. But with this rest of the mind, with this like reflective attitude, with this like reflection of what else is out there, how else can I look at this perspective, what other stories can I make out of these elements, because this is what this is. These are stories that we tell ourselves. This is the narrative that I kind of like get based on what people told me as I grew up, or based on how harsh I am with myself, or how gentle I am with myself. And it's time to nurture. You are in deep need to nurture and support yourself right now. To be your own supporter, to be your own cheerleader here. And the more you're supporting and nurturing yourself right now and providing for yourself that security that you need, the less you'll be triggered by the people outside, and the less you will feel like a victim. You feel empowered. These kings, there are 3 kings here. They're all about like power. They are within the control. They have power over their lives. Mastery. And it's mastery of the mind, mastery of the emotion, and mastery of the physical. So it's definitely within your grasp. You just need to see it. And I think you're starting to. I think that this is what this month is going to take you through, this process of seeing your own power and strength and seeing that you are in control. Alright, my love, Gemini. I hope this makes sense to you. I hope that these messages help. I wish you have a great May, and thanks for being here with me. If you enjoyed the reading and if you resonate, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you here next time.